Radio City Originals.
Made in Kerala.
Hi, this is Sanish Bhaskaran and Swagatam everyone to Radio City Original Made in Kerala. Let's connect with iconic Malayalis who have made Kerala proud across the globe. മലയാളിയാണോ എന്ന ചോദ്യത്തിന് ഇവർ പറയുന്നത് ഒരു ഉത്തരമാണ്. അതെ, മലയാളിയാണ്. The guest on today's episode of Radio City Original Made in Kerala Season 2, powered by Joe Salukas, is someone who's a genius in physics, maths, chemistry, biology, geography and history. In fact, so much more. He's India's most wanted production designer, the man behind the blockbuster RRR and BaahuBali. Ladies and gentlemen, Chetamare Chechimare, we have with us Malayaliകളുടെ അല്ല ഇന്ത്യയുടെ തന്നെ സ്വന്തം സാബു സിറിൽ. സർ നമസ്കാരം. വെൽക്കം ടു മെയ്ഡ് ഇൻ കേരള സീസൺ 2. സർ എന്താണ് വിശേഷങ്ങളൊക്കെ?
ഡെയിലി വർക്കിന് പോകും, രാവിലെ തൊട്ട് വൈകുന്നേരം വരെ. I enjoy my work, so I enjoy that more than anything else.
That's something you've been saying it in every interview at all. അതായത് ജോലി അല്പം പോലും ഒരു ബാധ്യതയില്ലാതെ കാണുന്ന ഒരു വ്യക്തിയാണ്. Somebody who loves it like anything എന്ന് പറയണ പോലെ.
Correct. It's my passion. It became my passion actually. I was not interested in coming into films first. ആദ്യം എഞ്ചിനീയർ ആണോന്നായിരുന്നു, മെക്കാനിക്കൽ എഞ്ചിനീയർ ആണോന്നായിരുന്നു. Then towards the college days, this one took over. Art took over at one point. Then I think I enjoyed in School of Arts and Shesham. I didn't want to come into films. I took up visual communication, but accidentally came into films.
Okay. So നമ്മുടെ ഗസ്റ്റുകൾക്ക് ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, നമ്മുടെ ഷോയിൽ വരുന്ന ഗസ്റ്റുകൾക്ക് നമ്മൾ സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡ് ആയിട്ട് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ചോദിക്കാറുണ്ട്. The one question from where we begin. ഒരു മലയാളി മറ്റൊരു മലയാളിയോട് പുറം നാട്ടിൽ പ്രത്യേകിച്ച് കാണുമ്പോൾ ചോദിക്കുന്ന ഒരു ചോദ്യമാണ്, നാട്ടിൽ എവിടെയാണെന്ന്. And then we get into the Kerala connection, sir. So you have to answer and start from there. Please tell us about your Kerala connection.
Parents വന്നിട്ട് കാലിക്കറ്റ് നിന്നാണ്. My mother's family full from Calicut. In fact, my grandfather had a studio കാലിക്കറ്റില്. അന്ന് കോഴിക്കോട് അതിൽ ചിത്ര സ്റ്റുഡിയോ എന്നുണ്ട്. It was very old. Like actually, now that Paragon Bakery അടുത്തായിരുന്നു. Now the Paragon Bakery has taken over his studio space, and also they bought it from him after he stopped working. Actually, my dad is from Wayanad. Like my his relations, most of them are in Wayanad, Mandavadila.
പഠിച്ചത് കേരളത്തിലെ അല്ലല്ലോ സർ, തമിഴ്നാട്ടിലല്ലേ?
ഞാൻ ഒരു വർഷം അതായത് സെക്കൻഡ് സ്റ്റാൻഡേർഡ് പഠിക്കുമ്പോൾ I was in Calicut, സെന്റ് ജോസഫ്സിലാണ് പഠിച്ചത്. Then കൊയിലോണില് ലിസിയോ ഹയർ സെക്കൻഡറി കൊയിലോണിൽ ലിസിയക്സ് പഠിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. സെന്റ് എലൂഷ്യസ് സ്കൂളിന്റെ ഓപ്പോസിറ്റില് ഫാറ്റിമ ഷ്രൈനിന്റെ ബാക്കിലായിട്ട് വരും ആ കോളേജ് സ്കൂള്. അവിടെ ഒരു വർഷം പഠിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു കൊല്ലത്ത്. ബാക്കിയെല്ലാം ജനിച്ചു വളർന്നതെല്ലാം തമിഴ്നാട്ടിലാണ്. വാൾപ്പാറ എന്ന് പറയും. വാൾപ്പാറന്ന് കുറച്ചും കൂടെ പോയിട്ടുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ 17 കിലോമീറ്ററിൽ മുറുകാളി എസ്റ്റേറ്റ്, ഷേക്കിൽമുടി ഗ്രൂപ്പ്, ഇംഗ്ലീഷ് ആൻഡ് സ്കോട്ടിഷ് കമ്പനി ആയിരുന്നു. So my dad was working there. So ബാക്കി പഠിച്ചതെല്ലാം ഞാൻ കോയമ്പത്തൂരിലും വാൾപ്പാറയിലായിരുന്നു. Only to join School of Arts I came. സ്റ്റേറ്റിൽ ഒരു കോളേജേ ഉള്ളൂ തമിഴ്നാട്ടില്. എല്ലാ അതേമാതിരി ട്രിവാൻഡ്രത്തുള്ള ഒരു കോളേജ്, സ്റ്റേറ്റ് കോളേജ് ഫൈൻ ആർട്സ്. So I studied in College of Arts, Arts and Crafts എന്ന് പറയും. It's a 108 years old college actually. Now it must be around 200 years old actually. Then I was studying, it was 180 years old.
ഇനി അടുത്ത ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഒരു ഫ്ലാഷ് ബാക്കിലേക്കാണ്. ഫ്ലാഷ് ബാക്ക് ഒരു സീനാണ്. ആ സീനിലിരിക്കുന്നത് സാറിന്റെ കുട്ടിക്കാലമാണ്. ഓക്കെ, എനിക്കറിയാൻ സാധിച്ചത് പഠിക്കാൻ അത്യാവശ്യം മിടുക്കനായിരുന്നു എന്നാണ് കുട്ടിക്കാലത്ത്. അതുകൊണ്ട് തന്നെ ഞാനിനി കാണിക്കാൻ പോകുന്നത് ഒരു ബുക്കാണ്. ഐ ബിലീവ് ദാറ്റ് ദിസ് പെർട്ടിക്കുലർ ബുക്ക് വിൽ ഹാവ് സം സോർട്ട് ഓഫ് റെസൊണൻസ് ആൻഡ് ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് ഇൻ യുവർ ലൈഫ് ബിക്കോസ് ഇറ്റ് ഹാസ് ബിൻ ഗിഫ്റ്റഡ് ടു യു ബൈ സംബഡി വെരി ക്ലോസ് ടു യു, സോർട്ട് ഓഫ് എൻ ഐഡൽ എന്ന് വേണമെങ്കിൽ പറയാം. ഞാൻ ആ ബുക്കിന്റെ കവർ കാണിക്കാം. യു വിൽ ഹാവ് ടു ടെൽ മീ ദ സ്റ്റോറി ബിഹൈൻഡ് ഇറ്റ്.
Physics for entertainment. Actually, it was not gifted to me.
Okay.
This book, കോയമ്പത്തൂരിൽ പഠിക്കുമ്പോൾ I think in 7th standard, 8th standard പഠിക്കുമ്പോൾ I was going to the estate. So കോയമ്പത്തൂർ ബസ് സ്റ്റാൻഡിൽ ഒരു ബുക്ക് ഷോപ്പ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അവിടെ ഈ റഷ്യൻ ബുക്സും ഇതെല്ലാം ബുക്കുമായിരുന്നു. So when I saw it was 3 rupees 50 paise for 2 books, Physics for Entertainment 1 and 2 red volume. That time this was not the cover, it was smaller. Design is almost the same. It was a smaller book. black and white front cover.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought that. I really learned so much when I started reading. It was very practical physics, actually, explaining about everything.
അന്ന് എന്ത് പ്രായം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു?
I was studying in 8th standard.
Okay. But so it's highly unlikely to have a book, somebody of a child of that age to go for physics. Maybe it could be sports or entertainment. അങ്ങനെ പോകാനാണ് സാധ്യത ഉണ്ടാവുക. And then you switch to physics. Why physics?
But before that itself, my dad's books, his in the intermediate പഠിച്ച books എല്ലാം ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. അതിൽ physics book ഒന്നും ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. പഴയ അതിന്റെ ചട്ടയൊന്നും ഉണ്ടാവില്ല. So I used to go through all those things. That inspired me to, when I saw this, I just wanted to buy it, but it really helped me. Even now, I advise people to buy this book for children and things like that.
സർ, അധികം പേർക്ക് അറിയാത്ത ഒരു കാര്യമുണ്ട് സാറിന്റെ ലൈഫുമായി കണക്റ്റഡ് ആയിട്ടുള്ള, തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും അറിയുന്നവരുണ്ട്. എന്നിരുന്നാലും മലയാളത്തിന്റെ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇന്ത്യയുടെ തന്നെ ലെജൻഡറി ആയിട്ടുള്ള സിനിമാറ്റോഗ്രാഫർ വിൻസെന്റ് മാസ്റ്റർ സാറിന്റെ അമ്മാവനാണ്. I have to ask you this question. How much of his influence has been in your life reaching out to an industry like cinema?
See, knowingly or unknowingly, a lot of people have influenced me in different walks of life. അതില് സിനിമയിൽ പേരെടുത്ത ഒരാളായിരുന്നു വിൻസെന്റ് മാസ്റ്റർ. ആ സമയത്ത് വിൻസെന്റ് മാസ്റ്ററിന്റെ അച്ഛനാണ് ജോർജ് വിൻസെന്റ്, who had the studio.
Okay.
So from childhood, I used to see my grandfather painting and doing. I used to go to his studio, see things around. And when holidays, we used to come to Vincent Master to Madras, where he used to live. So I used to go once in a while for shooting Ghana net. So he used to take me behind the set, and he used to say, "See, this is done by plaster Paris. From front, it looks real." So I was very inquisitive to know more and more about those kind of things. But I was not interested in film making as such, or being a part of the film industry. Those things really helped me to know so much about materials and things like that. പക്ഷെ ഞാൻ കോളേജ് പഠിക്കുന്ന സമയത്ത് when I used to go to his house, I studied in Madras that time. വിൻസെന്റ് മാസ്റ്റർ രണ്ട് ആൺകുട്ടികളും, ജയനും വിൻസെന്റും both are cinematographers now. So from early days, they used to work under him, and they used to discuss things dining table when they are having dinner or lunch. ഓരോന്നിനെ പറ്റി ഡിസ്കസ് ചെയ്യും. ആ സമയത്ത് uncle used to tell about filmmaking, different things which they want to know in common and things like that. One thing which I still remember is that when I became an art director, when I started marking the set, uncle എപ്പോഴും പറയാം, നോക്ക് ഏത് art director set ഇട്ടിട്ടുണ്ട്, വിൻഡോന്റെ പിന്നിൽ സ്ഥലമില്ല, we need ഒരു ഷാഫ്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അറ്റ്ലീസ്റ്റ് 10 feet ഒന്നും ഇടണ്ടേ എന്നല്ലോ. So when I started marking, these things actually helped me unknowingly. This knowledge which I gained out of just listening, sheer listening. And then when in college days, when Janan used to go for shooting, I used to go for shooting. I used to just see things around there. But I was not really interested in becoming a part of the film industry. Accidentally, like that. But I used to do small things. College, third year, fourth year, I used to make some properties, special properties, because I was very good in craft actually. I used to make models and things like that. When I was in final year one of my friend, who was 1 year junior to me, but he was my age, Ashok Bharatna nephew. So he asked me, Sabu, I want to make something for the film, under a helicopter or bomb and miniature. That time my dad helped me, but I didn't go for shooting.
Okay.
After that, I think I started getting exposed to film industry a little bit by making these kind of things.
Okay.
But a few of them came to know about me. Ayyar the Great, actually, it was Rajiv Anjal was the art director, and he became a director. So the film, they told me only 7 days balance work is there. Ashok I got a Telugu film, why don't you do? You can easily do. Then he took me to the director. After meeting me, he told Ashok, you can go, I'll manage with them, because in the cousins already Badran.
Okay.
So first time I started working, and I did a oxygen plant set. And seeing the oxygen plant set, even Shobana heroines, she was the heroine in that film, Ayyar the Great. Her mother asked me, doctors at then how did you do so much of detailing? So I told her, I went to one hospital, went to the oxygen plant and took drawings from there, and I made it. Those days, we didn't have a camera or a phone or anything of that sort. Then I got about 4 or 5 film offers that time. after finishing that film, uncle called me. Why I came to tell you about how I reached here is, uncle called me for Jagadev to he was doing on-camera effects. That time they used to call not visual effects exactly, on-camera effects. So he wanted to make a miniature. Then for the song sequence, he wanted to make a small model of Sridevi, identical life size, not in the life size, scale character, which has to go, the roof has to open. So my dad did the miniature of the house, and I did all the other mechanisms and things like that to go up into the sky. Then I worked for 7 months in that film, doing glass mat paintings. So I was working on the camera side. So I learned a lot, but I started enjoying because I was not feeling tired. Early morning, go, night late down, again I used to go. So I really started enjoying. Then I didn't think that it was my call and things like that. I was enjoying that bit.
Best outgoing student ആയിട്ടുള്ള Madras Universityയിലെ best outgoing student ആയിട്ടുള്ള Sabu Cyril decided to leave science and plunge into something like arts. ആ ഒരു കാലത്തിൽ ഇന്ന് പോലും പലപ്പോഴും അധികം പ്രാക്ടിക്കൽ അല്ല എന്ന് കരുതുന്ന ഡിസിഷൻ ആണ്. How did that happen? I mean, I'm sure you told about the film part, but to take that thing, you need a lot of courage. What made you do that?
See, I only see whether I enjoy at that moment or not.
Okay.
So I enjoyed it thoroughly. Though the money what I got was very less at that point in time. But until the work and Shesham, higher the grade was still going on that time, side level. And last day of the film, I made a Herald car, which has to blast. We were doing it in front of Goodnight Mo and our office in Kekenar. So I was preparing that, and Annu Bharadatan was walking that way after lunch, dinner. He was going for a walk. His house was very close. He saw this and called Ashok and asked Malayalam because very good details are there. Then he told Sabu is my friend, Vincent Master nephew. Okay. So Angana, he took me there and he asked me whether I can make a shark, 13 feet long shark, which has to go in the water and all that. So I told him I can do it like this. Start here, but reasonably I'll charge you, don't worry about it.
Sir, ipo parayunnathu Amaram enna cinema kurichalle?
Amaram. Okay. So then after seeing the final one, he asked me, why don't you do art direction for my film?
Okay.
So I told him I don't know what is art direction. He told, you can do art director. I was an art director for that. I was an art director. Your uncle only made me. I did the first film with your uncle Vincent Master, and he only told me to get involved in all the creative part, and how I became a director also because of him. If you are a creative person, you should get involved and do this film. I told him aesthetically I like this film. So I told him because you are asking me, I will do. And then the first independent full പടമായിട്ട് ചെയ്തത്.
ഓക്കെ സർ, അതിൽ ഏറ്റവും വേറിട്ട് നിന്നൊരു കാഴ്ച എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞത് ആ സ്രാവാണ്, 12 അടി നീളമുള്ള ആ സ്രാവ്. ആൻഡ് യു ആർ സെയിങ് ദാറ്റ് വാസ് ക്രിയേറ്റഡ്, ദാറ്റ്സ് നോട്ട് ഒറിജിനൽ.
നോ, 13 അടി.
സർ, 30 വർഷത്തെ മലയാളികളുടെ ഒരു തെറ്റിദ്ധാരണയാണ് ഇപ്പൊ സർ മാറ്റിയിട്ട്. വി ഓൾ വർ തിങ്കിങ് അറ്റ് ദാറ്റ് ടൈം ദാറ്റ് ദിസ് ഇസ് ഒറിജിനൽ ആൻഡ് യു ഹാവ് ജസ്റ്റ് ബസ്റ്റഡ് ദ മിത്ത്. ഐ തിങ്ക് ദിസ് ഇസ് ദി ചാം ഓഫ് സിനിമ, അല്ലെ? മേക്ക് ബിലീവ് വേൾഡിലേക്ക് കാര്യങ്ങൾ കൊണ്ടുപോകുക എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. So at this point, I have to ask you something. For people like us, mostly laymen, we don't understand the role of an art director or a production designer in a film. So adonnu explain cheyan patcho so that we can understand what happens into the making of a film from your point of view.
See, actually, first I should tell you, it's an irony in our profession. That is, the better you do, you will go unnoticed because it will look real and they don't know it's been done or not. Shark we did one smaller, like we took a smaller shark and we shot a little bit for the close-ups and things like that in Muttugad bridge in the Madhavambata cameraman. And when you're asking me what is actually art director's job, art director is in charge mainly about the set and the set construction and propping and things like that. Production designer, art directors work under production designer. Okay. That is a new one because it is abroad, like American, basically industrial system. Where production designer, you can have 3 or 4 art directors under you, but they decide the mood of the film, where it can be shot, what kind of set will be designed, what can be designed, what will be the color, what will be the costume. So you have to interact with costume designers, cinematographers, every department regarding this one, and take care of most of the things except emotions and things like that. But here today in India now, art directors, especially in Malayalam, art directors do most of the things like this. So it was very easy for me to become a production designer. There's only Bombay Matralo union. We have costume designers and production designers in the same union actually.
Okay.
In Bombay. We are, I think, only about 20 of us who are production designers actually. But now everyone was using production designer. But there's a mistake, like people didn't know about it. Malayalam, even managers, production managers, there's to senior manager will use as production designer, thinking that term is very nice. So I used to tell them, no, production designer or art director actually. So even if you see Kala Panil, you'll see title Suresh Balaji in the Perarikam as production designer, where he was executive producer of that film.
Oh, okay.
Because people were ignorant about it. The titles
But so how does the process start? Like, so I believe the director comes to you, he comes up with the script, and he narrates you and give you probably a picture of his vision. And then what happens like?
No, actually, first, nowadays, they give us the bound script, actually.
Okay.
So we go through the whole, read the whole thing, then meet the director. If he's a writer also, all the more better we have to ask him what he imagined and so on. And we have to tell our suggestions about the look and things with the references. I'll show him this should be the look and this is how it can be.
Yeah.
And from the costume onwards, we discuss about everything. Then the DOP, cinematographer also is involved, where the mood of the lighting and which location will be the sun. So finally, everyone collaborates and we all try to take the best out of each other, and it's a teamwork finally. But our responsibility is to see that the film, what you see as visual, it will be captured by the cameraman, but it's set by the production designer and the art director and the art department basically. So even if you say one sequence itself, we might do natural location, match it in another location, or if it is a very difficult sequences, we might create the set. Then CG will take over after a point of time. Extension will be done in CG. So too many things are involved because technically you should be quite knowledgeable enough to understand the process of the whole thing, actually, filmmaking. And everything is based on the budget.
Yeah, get into sir. Ashoka, the film, I thought it is created on a massive budget. But sir, in an interview, it was on a very tight budget and you had to pull it off in a big way, which we as an audience, we never came to know about it.
See, actually, that hats off to Santosh Shivan, who can manage it. He has done so many documentaries. He'll walk around with a camera and shoot on a film and come back. So because of his experience and things like that, that scale also came through. And with minimum things we could, and we are in total sync when we discuss about these kind of things. That really helped the film to be what it is supposed to be.
Sir, I know that you love period films because there is a charm and challenge involved in creating a bygone era. But if you ask me, I feel that creating a real location or an existing location is also challenging. 93 കാലഘട്ടത്തിൽ സർ ഒരു ഗർദിഷ് എന്ന സിനിമ ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു. ഇറ്റ്സ് എ റീമേക്ക് ഓഫ് മലയാളത്തിലെ കിരീടം എന്ന സിനിമയാണ്. അതിന് ക്ലൈമാക്സ് ഷൂട്ട് ചെയ്തത് സൗത്ത് ബോംബെയിലെ മഹാലക്ഷ്മി എന്നൊരു ഏരിയയിലാണ്. അത് കണ്ട സാക്ഷാൽ അമിതാഭ് ബച്ചൻ സർ ഞെട്ടിയിട്ട് he called up Priyadarshan sir എന്നാണ് ഞാൻ അറിയാൻ സാധിച്ചത്. He was asking, how did you manage to shoot it in that location? Because for his film Dawn, he couldn't manage it. അപ്പൊ പുള്ളി പറഞ്ഞത്, പ്രിയദർശൻ സർ അന്ന് പറഞ്ഞത് എന്താ അറിയോ, ഇത് ഷൂട്ട് ചെയ്തത് ഞങ്ങൾ ബോംബെയിലല്ല, മറിച്ച് ചെന്നൈയിലാണെന്ന്. Sir, you are a master creator when it comes to creating Mumbai every time or most of the time in Chennai. My question to you is that, how much do you think the power of observation really matters in your profession?
It is very important because being an artist, we've been trained our mind that way. I said, because college, like School of Arts especially, first 2 years, we call it the integrated preparatory course, where we are taught to do portrait, full figure, painting, watercolors, started with a painting like commercial art, everything is a part of the subject. So if you want to do a portrait or still life, your concentration is so high, the lighting you should understand, see that and recapture with your hand. You have to rework onto a paper in 2-dimensional son. Even sculptures in the face clay, we are supposed to do it exactly like that. To get that lightness, your observation, the concentration should be so high. So because of that, so within 5 years' time, automatically you'll start seeing things, and within fraction of a second, you absorb so much of information from that. And for me, it became a habit. Whenever I sit there, some texture on the wall, so we can recreate it. So everything becomes a part of your profession or your interest, basically. That's why when hobby becomes a profession, I think it becomes so easy, because without your knowledge, you're learning and you're using that in your daily work. So basically, observation is very, very important.
Okay.
And ability to recreate. For that, you should be an artist, and you should be a craftsman who can produce it. And the material knowledge is also equally very important to know, to get that feel. And photography also is a part of it, where you should know how it look in a camera and the space.
Yeah.
When the camera movement at the space, there are too many things if you go into detail actually.
But sir, how do you know that you can recreate something? So, free time kittumbol, when you have sort of a break time in between projects, you do a trial by error and try to come up with something, so that anticipating that something like that could be used in the future. Angane nokko, or on the job thanneyaano try cheyyunnathu?
See, on the job, and as soon as when we discuss it, I'll start thinking about materials, how it can achieve that. Then practically we'll start making it. Sometimes we might make a smaller model to see whether it's working for a dolphin on a giant with armature and this one. Basically, the bone structure should be like this, for the vertebrae column. Then only it will be flexible. For a fish, it might be going like this, but it may not go like that. So all based on that, we might have to think a lot. And I think it came naturally to me. I should thank God, because I think the talent which I got through my genes from my dad's side. Dad also was an all-rounder. He was he used to paint also, used to draw also, board college school when he wanted money, drama stage background painting fashion studio on the Calicut like that. He did so much. He's a mechanical engineer. Though he was not educated in that, but he used to read a lot of books. Those books were lying at home. So he was an all-rounder. Then artistic talents in this side and uncle through it. And a family, most of them Naranamariku. Achana side alone, partner, dancer, musicians and things like that, which I didn't get at all.
You never thought of acting as a profession or a passion?
No, some like 2 or 3 films I've done, in the sense, small things, but Robo, I've done about 3 scenes actually. Although agent shy, that after that I decided not to show my face in front of the camera, because I have tension conscious. So I feel very comfortable behind the camera, because we have better control and understanding about what is happening in the front, and we can judge things better, I think. You are under another person's mercy to judge you, basically.
So usually actors are that, when you're working in a particular film, if it's a dark film, you have a hangover when you move on to next film. Which are more than actors. I believe that technicians are somebody who are there right from the very beginning to the very end. Do you have any of such hangovers when you're working in a period film, or then you're moving on to a very hip and urban film? Switching of mind, is that difficult for a technician?
Yeah, I don't know about others, but I don't have it. I can simultaneously do 5 things, very different things actually. So it has, again, naturally, easily it has come to me. I remember when I was doing Bible TV serial, television serial Bible in Navodaya. So that time, that is that one. And Tamil, I was doing a mythology, which was Kandapuranam on other television serial. And side by side, there was another television serial which was called Enthiran. Robot dog.
Okay.
I forgot the name of that film. I have not a film. It was not Enthiran. That means about robotics and things. That small dog I made, and I did the most of the sequences. So the period okay. High tech, the same writer Sujata only was writing for both. Sir, if you are writing, why can't I do this? Sir? In Hinayendra and Kandapuranam was two different things, and Bible also was happening side by side.
Questions in there, but what I thought was that instead of asking you too many questions, I would divide the rest of the interview into 4 segments, and each segment basically is about a particular director and a film or series of films. Sir, work you will have to tell me the experience or probably a trivia which we probably do not know about it. Sir, the first director I'm talking about is S.S. Rajamouli sir and his world of BaahuBali and RRR. How is it working with him?
Rajamouli is so passionate and involved so much with films. Like people say, no, they drink, eat cinema, drink cinema, sleep cinema, like that. A person, he is actually possessed by cinema. Actually, that's what I should tell everyone. Because Cherikyum, he's possessed by it because every detail he'll be thinking about everything. Every time he'll be thinking about that. Other than that, he'll be a very quiet person. In the party hall, he won't even talk much. He'll be sitting somewhere in the corner and he doesn't drink also. So he's a different kind of person. But his commitment towards the job when he's working, admirable. I'm not saying others are not son, but he is mad about filmmaking and going into that and trying everything himself first and checking out things. And he never, I think he extracts maximum what he can get from people. He try out different ways to get it done this way, finally.
And how did he get hold of the essence of BaahuBali, sir?
So actually, it was his vision. The scale wise and things like that, what he wanted was his vision. Though I have done a lot of period films. The last one, when you're talking about, you told me, I know you like period films. Actually, I don't like period films. I like futuristic films. I like Robo, Mary, another subjects I'm basically to do because advancement technology and knowing that and trying to create something out of imagination and putting things to make it work. No? So that is more challenging for me than recreating this one. But since people have seen my work and things like that, most of them called me only for period films actually. But now, what were you asking me about?
I was asking about BaahuBali, sir, because I remember you telling about
the first meeting. With the director, he showed me one concept art which he had got it done, or 1,000 feet waterfall. Okay. Actually, he told me, sir, if I'm making this film, this should be there. Seeing that, I immediately knew that the scale is this big because I could understand the staging of that film is going to be humongous. So everything I thought on those lines actually. So it was easy and in the beginning it was a little difficult. First time working with another person, his style of working because he gets involved. First time when we were working, if we have to mark a set and also he'll come, he'll put the points there and he'll be measuring the tape. And I used to think it's my job. Why is he doing? But then I knew he likes to do that. That's what I found on him. He likes to be involved in that whole process of the filmmaking, actually. So then I started supporting him, doing him, and I understood him quite well. So RRR was much more easier than all these things, actually, than those two BaahuBalis, actually. But I did when he called me also, he told me, I want you for the action sequence. I told him, what am I going to do in action? No, a lot of rigs I need to be made. A bike and a rig, miniature of the train, or what are sequences now rigs uses there for the action sequences, which I made it for him actually. Even that breaking of the fountain, the whole hosepipe dancing like snakes with that. So there was no CG involved in that one. So I had to think how to go about that and make it work for him. So, but it was really challenging. I really enjoyed all these films with him because it's a great experience because it always challenges me when he asks for something which others have not done till now and things like that.
The next director is Shankar.
See, Shankar also is an equally hardworking person. He plans meticulously and first script to lock up. One best thing about him is that he'll lock the script. He'll think about all. So if anyone once he locks the script, he doesn't change a little bit also. He'll say, I have thought about it 360 angles and degrees. I have thought about everything which I have written. So everything is interlinked and things like that. So if I change anything after that, then it might affect somewhere else. So once he locks script, he doesn't change it at all. And he plans it meticulously. And he he knows how much time each one will take. And based on that, he'll plan the whole call sheet program. He also gets involved like anything. While working, but he's a very cool person while shooting. He doesn't get tensed or he doesn't make others tense. So he'll be very relaxed. That's a very fantastic quality of him.
So then my personal favorite, Mani Ratnam.
Mani is a nice person, but tension work undercurrent full tension because we know he's a fantastic director and his films I've seen Nayagan I really thought he's done a fantastic job. That time I was studying I just finished college, I think.
Okay.
And I really liked that film, the aesthetics and the way he captured that film. And so when I got an opportunity to work with him, first time I couldn't do. But I was just doing Kalapani and was just getting over with Kalapani. Okay. So I told him, my plate is full, sir. I had 7-course dinner during a period. If you ask me again another period film, I don't think I'll be able to do justice to that film. So then he told me, so whom do you recommend? Samir Chandya best known because he helped me for Gardish, his assistants helped me to work in Bombay. Gardish, during Gardish few shooting which we had. Because I didn't know anyone in Bombay at that point of time.
Okay.
So Samir Chanda's name came through Santosh Shivan. So I met him and then he helped me out. So like that I could manage in Bombay. So I suggested, then Samir Chanda only did Iruvan. After that, again, he called me. That was my first film with Mani Ratnam.
Yes.
We were supposed to do the whole thing in Sri Lanka. So when we went to Sri Lanka, it was looking exactly like Kerala. I told sir, give me one day, I'll take photographs here, bus into the watershed, number plate, boats. I told them we'll go back because it's very risky to shoot at that point of time there. Because the war was going on with LTT and things like that. I told him it's quite risky. Why can't we do it? You're sure that we can do it? I told Kerala looks exactly like this, sir. I'll show you places and we'll do. And then Madras Kerala mostly shoot and it came out well. Adiramballi Buddha statue.
Sir, like everybody's talking about a major song, a ship in a skeleton ship in but you said that people don't realize the fact that there is that two boats been tied and caught in a storm. Sri Lanka in India sequence and I don't know if it's right. You made that in 5 feet no tank inside a studio recreated. Is that true?
Yeah. Actually, that was shot in Malayali studio. Where exactly Gardish Dobby got set it. So this was an indoor set where we put a huge tank and put two boats tied together, and the travel like a storm sequence was shot inside that. So every interview, people, most of the media people, everyone appreciated our skeleton. That thought came to me from ship of the desert. Normally camels in the but camel desert you can see the skeleton. So I suddenly connected that and a ship like that in the barren land. So I wanted to recreate that. That was well appreciated, but the job was quite tough to do the storm sequence. That was more difficult. So people told, no, we thought it was shot in action. Actually, see, you can't shoot like this. Actually. It's not easy. Now, the film which I'm working on now, again, we are creating boats and ship and waves and kadala full.
So what happens when there is a difference of opinion or sort of belief and faith mechanism, right? Like when you have something in mind, you are 100% clear about it, but then the technician opposite to you has a different viewpoint. So how does things go hand in hand?
So basically, if I'm very sure and I know it can happen, I'll try to convince them and say practically it is possible. And people who know me, who has worked with me, know if I tell something, it can't be, he's very clear about what he's telling. But some people still, their confidence level also will be very high about what they are thinking. So I'll take a call based on what is right for the film. And at one point, if I had to just give a leverage and so on, and as far as that is also working, but there is not only one way of doing things. There can be multiple ways of doing things. What is right for this film at this point of time with the budget, available budget, that is more important. So I give priority based on that actually. Decision making is normally difficult for most of them, but for me it is very easy because with the available knowledge at that point of time, what is the best which you can do within the time frame and the budget, you can fix things actually.
So you make art sound very easy, sir, which I know it's not that easy from a practical perspective. The fourth person, the director, I want to mention this point is the director who gave you the first national award, the director with whom you have worked the most, Priyadarshan.
My first national award was for Tenman Kambathu with Priyadarshan, which was Priyadarshan's film again.
Yeah.
But I got a Filmfare award. My first award itself was for Gardish, Hindi, for Gardish actually. Yeah. I got a Filmfare award. After that, about 6 Filmfare awards I got so far. But even again, the next national award also I got it for Priyadarshan's film Kala Pani.
പക്ഷെ സാറ് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട് കാലാപാനിയിൽ കിട്ടിയ അവാർഡിനാണ് കുറച്ചുകൂടി സാറിന് മുൻതൂക്കമുള്ളത് because you felt തേന്മാവിൻ കൊമ്പത്ത് was sort of an easy film for you. There was no much of a challenge in that.
Challenge, see, it was in the spirit, but recreating a period was very difficult in Kalapani because people have seen things which was there because when we grew up, and I told you, E&S is English and Scottish company, where all these English things which they used to use those days came of use for Kalapani. So I knew already at that period what they were using and how it was to look and things like that. So it became easier, but it was tough to recreate. That was my major period film where I had to recreate. Tenman Kambathu, as you said, it was a lighter subject. It was a village which has to be made beautiful and frame beauty, matram okittum, adile creativity kaanichittum, and with the less budget we could achieve that. So it was quite a surprise for me when I got for this one, Tenman Kambathu. The line which they announced when I received that award was saying perfect setup by art director for a cinemascope film. That was the first year they gave for cinemascope actually. So the format, because basically composition has to be planned that way. So I used to make everything movable so that it was easy to compose and things like that actually.
I'm sure the most or almost all the filmmakers in India would be dying to work with you. Okay. And they are all must be coming to you also. So what is your criteria to select a project, to say yes to something and no to something? How does it work?
See, basically it should be challenging for me. If another person can do it, I'll say, why me? Why you chose me? So if he can justify that, then I'll do it. I never done films for money, actually. If it challenges me and if I can show my work and I got an opportunity to showcase, because I always believe having talent is one thing, but you need opportunity to showcase your work, to show work. So for that, I used to choose films basically. So I know chances are there for people to know, and even another person tries to, even if they don't know it is a set or how we have done that. When they do it, they know it's not easy to do. So that gives me satisfaction actually.
So do you miss advertising?
I did visual communication in college, and I was 5 years. I was having my own agency, freelancing at the first year of the college. Then I had my own small agency where there were about 4 or 5 artists under me. I had a dark room, I had a printing unit. So designers, 5 of them used to work, and I also used to work.
Is it true that you have created and designed the menu for Taj?
Yeah, Taj. I used to work for Welcome Group first.
Okay.
So Adia Park started when Adia Gate became Adia Park. I started working for them. I started working for the front office basically.
Okay.
Then I used to do the guest stationaries and things like that. Then slowly I started doing for other departments. Then F&B, food and beverage, the manager meeting after seeing my work. Then I started designing menus for them, seasonal 10 cards. Seeing this one, Adia Park and Chola was under Welcome Group. So I was working for Chola also. Seeing that work, I think Taj called me. So Taj also I used to do. Though they were competitors and things like that, I used to handle separately and not lead the designs or use the same design there.
Okay.
So Taj also I've done a lot of work for them actually. Then Madrako was so many companies.
Sir, ഇനിയും പറയാവുന്ന date ആണ്. I'm not very sure if you remember it. It's 1st of February 1991. Sir, എന്തെങ്കിലും റെസൊനേറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്നുണ്ടോ?
1991, because actually the years passed by and things like that, I am not able to keep a record because everything looks as if it's just happened now.
സാറിന്റെ ആദ്യ മേജർ സിനിമയായ അമരം റിലീസായത് ആ വർഷം ആ ദിവസമാണ്. എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഏകദേശം 32 വർഷമായി സാർ ഇപ്പോ ഈ മേക്ക് ബിലീവ് ലോകത്തേക്ക് വന്നിട്ട് ഇൻ ദ വേൾഡ് ഓഫ് സിനിമ എന്ന് പറയാം. 4 നാഷണൽ അവാർഡ്സ്, ഒരുപാട് സ്റ്റേറ്റ് അവാർഡ്സ് ആൻഡ് ഫ്രറ്റേണിറ്റി അവാർഡ്സ്. ഐ എം ഷുർ യു ഹാവ് സീൻ സക്സസ് ലൈക്ക് നോ വൺ എൽസ്. ഐ ഹാവ് ടു ആസ്ക് യു ദിസ്. What keeps you motivated even today?
See, first thing I should tell you, success doesn't go to my head and failure to my heart. So I take both equally under control and don't give too much of importance for these kind of things. It's just bound to happen. I take life as a travel. Basically, roads will be rough, sometimes the roads will be smooth. It's a part of life. The journey you should enjoy. So I enjoy my journey, basically. My life, the work which comes my way. And as far as I enjoy that, I think that's good for me. Actually. That keeps me happy, basically.
So what's the one piece of advice you would like to give it out to the youngsters who want to get into the world of films as a production designer or as an art director?
See, seeing our names in the papers and all those things, it's very easy thinking that it's not, you shouldn't think it's very easy to get a name like that in the industry, because a lot of cinema is easy, but it's really tough because we won't even have bathrooms or proper bathrooms or toilets when we go outdoor and when we put set and things like that. And today, even girls find it very difficult to come into the industry because of those kind of things. And it's a tough job because we have to manage so many people, time-wise, time-bound, budget-based. I think life is difficult in any which way, but it's how you take it. So if you really enjoy that, I think it shouldn't be. But try to utilize all your expertise, the knowledge what you have gained into a son. Because, and if you're lucky, you might get the best thing, work, opportunity if you're ready at the point of time. So that is more important than anything else. I think they should take it like at most. This one is it should be as sincere as possible. And hard work, don't shy away from hard work. And I think that should be the best quality. Basically, art is a part of this one. We can't increase your talent as such. It's ignorance which is a problem normally. So try to learn from masters who have done earlier and talk to them and how to go. They'll show you an easier path because that's a road which they would have traveled earlier. So it'll be easier for them to tell you, take this route. So that way, it might help them if they, and not to be adamant about doing things only your way. There will be a multiple ways. Just keep your mind open. You will find ways to achieve that.
Sir, thank you so much for being on the show. We wish you all the very best.
It was my pleasure too, and thank you so much.
Made in Kerala, made in Kerala.